Hang on. Got audio. Oh, we got video. Where's our audio? Hang on, y'all. If you've stayed on this long, you want to stay on another few seconds to see that we're good. There we go. There's the audio. My secrets to finding multibaggers. The 30-year Wall Street veteran, tech veteran, internet analyst from back in the 1999 bubble. I lost count of how many multi-baggers I've picked over the years. I know it's been a lot just in the last 14 months where I've had no losing picks whatsoever. Stay tuned. We're getting the crowd, live studio audience for Stock Talk Live. Y'all bring the people in, you veterans, you newbies. In fact, you newbies, I'm going to check on you right now. I'm going to check right now to see how many of y'all retweeted the invite, because we get a lot of requests to get what y'all get. And I knew you could just be replaced. You could just be replaced if you're not going to be part of the team. That's all it comes down to. While we're waiting for the audience to come in, we are going to talk about multi-baggers. We are going to talk about AI stocks. We are going to talk about my experience from 1999 and how it relates to where we are right now. Is the bubble bursting? Stay tuned, because we're going to get started in about 30 seconds. Look at this. Let's see what we got here. 71 retweets out of 500. Oh, we are going to kick newbies out. We're going to kick newbies out. But we don't have to, the rest of y'all don't have to deal with this. The rest of y'all are in the show, which means it's Friday. It's Money Mark. It's Stock Talk Live. Live from Montenegro. In fact, let me get my head in this picture a little bit better here. Montenegro. You know, next to Croatia, Europe. I just got here, okay? I was in the middle of eating dinner, and it was time for Stock Talk Live. So just like y'all like to watch it, well, you wouldn't have much to watch if I didn't come on to the show. So, and I'm drinking wine. So you don't know what kind of time it's going to be. Secret finding multi-baggers. Do we start with that? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, let's start with that. I'm going to give you guys some of this, maybe on a weekly basis. But the one that came up in my individual research groups this week that stood out, especially in this period of time when there are so many BS companies trying to fool you out of your money. And yeah, you can make money off of these stocks if you've got enough lemmings behind you, because the stocks are going up, but should they be? This is the problem. And here's the number one issue. You guys are looking for reasons to fall in love with the company. Oh, that's a great story. Oh, they're going to build data centers. Oh, they're AI. Oh my God. This story is great. Are you stupid? Are you really that dumb? I mean, if I didn't care about whether I go to heaven or hell, I would have everybody fooled. All you need is a great story, and you can pump a stock and raise money. Pump and dump. That's what a lot of these companies are doing to you. They're raising money after they pump these stocks without having done anything for you yet. Stop it. Stop looking for reasons to love these stocks. These companies, right? You, my friend, are the only man on earth. And the world is full of women, and you get to make your choice. Why would you look for reasons to fall in love with one of them? They have to prove themselves to you. You need to scrutinize these things. I don't look for reasons to fall in love with a stock. I look for reasons to hate a stock. And then I look to see if that reason is justified. Am I right about this? Is this market really saturated? Not just to yourself. I encountered a company this week that is, no, we're the only company, blah, blah, blah. I look it up. The equipment that they use to do what they do. They've got about 3 of these machines. I look up the company that sells the machines. They've sold over 1,000 of these machines. Bro, this company represents less than 1% of the machines in existence. And yet, they're supposed to be some kind of unique company. Stop it. Start scrutinizing these companies. Stop listening to the CEO, because the CEO's job is to fool you. I mean, not really. His job is to make sure the company does great. But in order for the company to do great, he needs funding. She needs funding. The company needs funding. Unless it's got tons of cash already, which is one thing you should look for in these companies. Because if they don't have tons of cash and they got some great story, guess what? You're probably being set up for a pump and dump. Stop that. Be skeptical. Bring up all the negative things that could possibly go wrong with this company, and then see if you can prove it to not be true. See if they can prove it to you to not be true. Prove. You can't just say we've got a patent. You can't just say we're the only ones that do this. We've got 20 years of experience. So effing what? Maybe somebody else does too. I found another company that said we're in a duopoly with the largest player in the space. I looked it up. AI, simple search. Perplexity. By the way, I've switched from Perplexity to Grok. I've been talking about Perplexity for months, right? But now I'm talking about Grok. Because Grok has just leapfrogged, courtesy of TSSI, leapfrogged Perplexity. And so now I'm paying Grok because it gives me better results. Okay? Grok tells me it's not a duopoly. There's a whole bunch of companies in this space. See, these executives are lying to you. They're not all fraudulent, but a lot of them are lying to you. They have no incentive to tell you the negative things that are going on, all right? So anyways, you want to hear about stocks. That's my lesson for the week. Stop looking for reasons to love a company. Start looking for reasons to hate it. And then check those boxes off. Every reason you have to hate it, figure out if it's legit. And unless you can prove it wrong, you cannot cross it off the list. All right? That's how I do it. That's why I'm such an a-hole when I'm analyzing these companies. That's why I grill these CEOs, CFOs like prisoners at trial. You feel me? Stop it. Guys are being wussies about this. I want to fall in love. Shut up. All right, number 2. Let's go right to the charts. Yellow alert. And next thing you know, we got ourselves a little correction potentially underway in the market. It comes as no surprise. Because what did I tell you? When the market reaches these levels, when we get to the red line, it's automatically a yellow alert. If there's a good reason, like COVID, we can make it an orange alert. If there's a good reason, like the internet bubble burst or the financial crash starts, once in a decade or 2-decade event, we go full red alert. The red line does not mean red alert. It just means we're fully valued. And when you're fully valued, dude, I don't want fully valued. I want discounts. I want great values. You're not getting great value when the stocks are at these tops. And that's why you see, like Meta, phenomenal quarter, right? Gaps up and has done nothing but go down since. Okay? What do we got? Google. There's its chart recently. Microsoft, MSFT. There's its chart recently. These are companies, Amazon, reporting phenomenal results. and not giving, they're giving back the profits from those phenomenal results. Let's look. Microsoft, Azure was up 39%. Wow. Amazon AWS up 18%. Google Cloud up 32%. Meta with the massive beat and raise. The hyperscalers are killing it. AI is not a bubble. Over 2 years, I've been telling you, AI is not a bubble. This week, the idiots of all idiots I saw on the internet. This dude claiming that the AI bubble is going to burst and the economy is going to burst with it because so many people are spending money on AI and this is just like the railroads. Bro, like every single thing I just said is bullshit. And this is what this dude's trying to say. Number one, AI is not a bubble. We're continuing to see more and more and more reasons. More revenues coming in, more uses are coming in. Every week something more astounding is happening in AI. That's number one. Number two, the railroads were built by startups with investor money, loan money, etc. Okay? And in order for a railroad to work, you have to build it point A to point B and then hope enough people use it. And if they don't, you go bankrupt. And that's what happened in the railroad era. In 1999, when the internet bubble burst, all that fiber optic that was laid is because the internet was going to be the next big thing and we better lay fiber optic everywhere. Yeah, the internet was going to be the next big thing, but not right away. What we see now, right, and by the way, those companies were also financed with debt. A lot of them. And we saw bankruptcies. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta are not indebted companies. They have tons of cash flow and they're just investing all that massive piles of cash into building out these AI data centers. Oh, not only that, they're not building the data centers in advance of demand. They're trying to keep up with demand. Okay? So everything that jackass said was absolutely wrong. 100% wrong. And then the audacity to say, oh, and these data centers depreciate rapidly. Are you stupid? Like, you really know nothing about technology. This is why you guys got to stop listening to idiots out there. Scrutinize these idiots. Look at them and look at their background. This dude was an economist. What the F does an economist know about technology? Nothing. He spends his days looking at economic research. Oh yeah, he knows more about economics than me because that's his job. But his job is not to know about technology. And guess what? He's doing a really good job of not knowing about technology because these AI data centers are not depreciating rapidly. In fact, the chips, the AI, the NVIDIA chips that went into operation last year are actually worth more now in some regards because they are doing a better job of processing. How? Easy. Because the ecosystem, I've been telling you, it's not about the GPU. AMD's got a faster GPU. Who cares? Who cares who has a faster GPU? Because NVIDIA has the entire ecosystem. They don't build GPUs. They're building data centers. Okay? There's storage. There's software. There is an entire ecosystem of things that help determine how well those processors operate for you and me via something like Grok when a TSSI puts those data centers together. Okay? And what has happened over the last year or two? The ecosystem has gotten stronger with better equipment and better software. I told you about NVTS, right? You see NVTS taking off? That is a new beneficiary as a result of the Blackwell chip upgrade cycle. This was not a beneficiary of the last GPU cycle. The ecosystem is getting stronger, okay? And as it does, even the old chips start performing better than they were performing a year ago, because just like if you take a team with a superstar, a crappy team with a superstar on it, let's say the New York Giants and Saquon Barkley, and then you take that superstar out and put him in a better ecosystem, let's say the Philadelphia Eagles, what happens? The dude turns into a god, and the team wins the Super Bowl. That's Saquon Barkley is GPUs, okay? You don't need to know any more than that. I don't want to belabor the point. It just goes to show you, you guys are being lied to by freaking idiots out there. Idiot economists, idiot analysts, people that haven't spent 30 years of their lives, 16 hours a day, immersed in learning about these things and building a Rolodex. If you guys remember what that is, my contacts, my network of experts. Because guess what? I'm not a technology expert. I don't understand what Navitas does, but I know somebody who does. I know multi-decade experts that tell me Navitas, what they do for the Blackwell AI data center ecosystem is phenomenal. Is best of breed. This is making AI data centers stronger, better, faster. Okay, great. I'll buy the stock. Because all I have to do is a little bit of math at that point, because now I know the company is for real. And you see the stock up 8% today on a day that the Russell's down 2 and the Q's down 2. Okay? This is because this company is probably because the company's bouncing off its 50-day moving average. Oh, that's a big surprise. Didn't I tell y'all a couple weeks ago not to chase the stock, but to buy it on weakness? Okay, I guess hitting the 50-day moving average could be considered weakness, right? Boom. Look at that, like clockwork, okay? And as long as the market turns around, we'll talk about that in a second, we could see the next leg up in Navitas' stock into the double digits for the first time in quite some time. Middle of 2 years ago, in fact. All right? So, this is the difference between a real professional and fakers. All right? This real professional happens to do this for free. Why? Because I had a mentor who taught me. He told me about the idiots. He told me what to look out for. Why? I don't know. Out of the goodness of his heart. Like literally. He never charged me a thing. He never expected anything from me. He did expect me to listen, which was frustrating to him because I didn't for a while. And once I did, bro, the rest of y'all heard the story before, but for you newbies, I used to live in a basement, not a basement apartment, a basement for $143 rent per month. I now live in a penthouse in Miami Beach. Okay? The same penthouse that you see at the beginning of the GTA 6 trailer. It's like that. Okay? And now I'm giving back to y'all just like my mentor gave to me. And that's it. No advertisements, no sponsorships, no BS. I'm just giving you my picks and research because I freaking hate that there are liars out there trying to cheat you. CNBC cheating you. Colleges cheating you. I hate that because it was done to me. All right, that's my story. Let's move on. What's next on the list? All right, AI. Let's wait. Let me tell you, let's do the macro real quick. Get that out of the way. I showed you already. We're in a yellow alert. Saw where the charts were. Okay. The jobs data. Oh my God. The jobs data came in light. Not a lot of jobs. We're going to talk about stocks. Don't panic. It's going to be about 30 seconds of macro. It's important for you to know. The jobs data was light, and then they revised the last 2 months of jobs data down. Not a lot of jobs being added in the economy, but the employment rate stays okay. All right, people panic. Okay, now the pressure is on Jerome Powell to lower interest rate. This is good for your stocks, all else being equal. If the economy does not fall apart, the interest rate environment, let's go to, here we go. The interest rate environment, look at interest rates dropping. All else being equal, this is good for stocks. But stocks are going down right now. We got tariff tantrum too, and we've got, obviously, you're looking at this data, this jobs data, as a sign the economy is slowing down. That increases the chances that we have an economic slowdown, which is the one thing that could derail the stock market with rates coming down. If rates are coming down and the economy stays strong, the market will continue to zoom. But this is why we're seeing, if you go UUP, that's like a dollar ETF, the US dollar is down today. Finally, starting to fall again. That's usually good for stocks, all else being equal. But again, economic data looking weak, it's going to drag stocks down. But economic data has nothing to do with what? Gold, GLD. And if the dollar is dropping, you're going to see the gold up, okay? And so you see what I've told you. You want defensive names, TPCS. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. You want gold. Bitcoin's cool, but in a risk-off environment, Bitcoin will tend to go down. But in a dollar depreciation environment, gold will go up. So that's Geodrill, GEODF, and we might talk about that a little bit more, right? And of course, my favorite, those are two of the top performing sectors. Gold related, defense, right? Two of the best sectors. The third sector, of course, my sector, the sector I cover, AI, but AI at a good price. Got to be careful about the valuations, okay? Red line becomes problematic. Yes, TSSI, and by the way, right? Let me tell you, there are 3 stocks that have hit the top of my red line that I am afraid will keep going higher. All right? This is one of them. I'm not going to really break my rules. I'm going to remain with low position sizes at the top line. Why? Because that's what the rule says. And more often than not, the rules save you know what. Right? You buy at the green line, you make tons of money. You buy at the red line, you usually lose. All right, so I'm not going to do no FOMO tricks here, especially with the market at a yellow alert. So we got the market at yellow alert. We got TSSI above the red line. What are we doing? You're going to back up the truck? Be careful. But there is reason to be bullish. We're going to talk about that in a second as well. But really quick, the other 2 companies I'm afraid might keep going up once the market rebounds, of course, is Kraken because of the batteries and the rumors going around, which, frankly, you might as well, credit me, because back here, I'm the one that said Anduril should buy Kraken. Because Anduril's using them in all of their autonomous subs. By now, most of you have heard of Anduril. If you haven't looked it up, ANDURIL. RIL. It's going to be a super hot IPO before long. And this is a major supplier to them. This is why we bought here and went on a multi-bag ride up to here, okay? But it could continue because of the demand for these drone subs, all right? Don't back up the truck. You got to be really careful at these lines because the valuation reflects a lot of this. But I am afraid it could keep going, so you want to have some. If you still love the company, you can still have some. And then DRSHF. Because, bro, they are just the orders for drone protection devices, like their devices knock drones out of the sky. And you see what's going on with drones right now. It's going ham. Absolutely ham. Right? And so I got a bonus company for you. The 4th company that I'm afraid could go over its lines is ITMSF, Intermap. Drone Shield, by the way, I closed those 3 companies out. None of them are on my official or unofficial pick list anymore. All multi-baggers. Also multi-bagger, ITMSF, but not quite at the top line yet. Okay? This is just a technical line. We can get rid of that. Well, I'm not going to get rid of that. I'll just lighten it a little bit so you guys don't get confused and think that this line's really important. What's really important is this line up here, okay, which is closer to 10 with a stock at 230. I've been telling you that this was going to be an important company for AI. Now we heard more news this week about that. Do I have that news up here? No, I don't have that news up here. But it is called the kill chain. All right. Maps. Let's see. 3D maps. Kill chain. If it comes up quick, great. If not, I'm going to keep going. Here you go. So the impact of AI on the kill chain. You can look this up. Read it later. Okay. What's happening now in warfare is on the field of battle around the world, you've got all kinds of soldiers, generals, leaders, this, that, and the other, right? They are starting to use AI technology. They can see everybody on the field. They see all the players on the chessboard. And AI is identifying the players and prioritizing who needs to be killed first. That's the kill chain, the supply chain of killing. Okay? And now they're using AI to turn long lead decisions into 60-second decisions. They scan what's out there, who's out there, kill him, kill him, kill him, and it'll wreck the opposition. Okay? What are they going to kill him with? A lot of times drones. How are they going to find them? With maps. Where are they in the world? At what altitude are they? Because if you're going to use a drone to take them out, the drone needs to know the altitude and terrain. 3D maps are needed for this. Increasingly, more and more, I am seeing evidence of the need for 3D maps. We already know that the hyperscalers want to see they want to load a 3D map of the entire Earth into their LLMs for several reasons. Okay? I can't even imagine. This is one of those situations where I don't have the capability to imagine all the different things that we'll be capable of doing, combining AI with 3D maps of the world. And Intermap being right now the predominant player as far as that goes. Okay? Now, the one thing I will have to say, I say the good, bad, and the ugly, right, is that the $200 million Indonesian deal, still going through, but they're going to break it up into pieces. Makes sense, because Intermap took a while to take care of that $20 million deal, right? So why give them $200 million all in one fell swoop when they're not going to be able, it's not like they're going to be able to send them $200 million worth of service or equipment like that. No. It's going to take a long time. This is going to be a multi-year project. So the country, from what I've heard, has decided to break this up into more bite-sized pieces. Okay? Not bad news. As long as Intermap continues to execute, then they should get phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, etc. They already got phase 1. Phase 2 was supposed to be some monster. Now it's being broken into little pieces. No big deal. In fact, it probably makes it easier for each phase to move through, because can you imagine the red tape associated with a $200 million deal? $20 million for a country, much easier. So stay tuned about that. All right? Decision will be made sometime in the coming months about that, along with other countries. I'm hearing about Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Malaysia, and of course the United States and the kill chain. This company is going to be busy for a long time. And if you see where they came from on the chart, this was a $20 stock that got all the way down to 9 cents. To get back to 20 from here, you're talking about more than an 8-bagger. Close to 9. All right? So that's Intermap. And given what's going on in this world, it wouldn't shock me if this blows through the top, because, of course, to get to 20, you got to blow through the top of this line, which is still white. I haven't turned it red yet. We're working on it. And you can understand why, because I'm having a hard time wrapping my arms around how big the opportunity is. But it's still obviously big from this level. By the way, if you are in the chat, 2 rules and a request. If you want to ask me a question, right, put question marks, because I get a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, a lot of thanks. I'm getting some of that stuff right here, so that's great. I appreciate that. because I don't accept any money, no subscriptions, no nothing. I swore off revenue back in 2015, so I do this all for free. So the one thing that you can do for me is give me the thumbs up and let people know that there's somebody out here giving you the real. Though, like, maybe, one of the very few real people out here. I'm not patting myself on the, yes I am, I'm patting myself on the back because I'm drinking wine, whatever. Because there's so many idiots out there. That's why. So you give me that thumbs up, give me the kudos in the chat, because that triggers the algorithm to let more people know that this is a good show. All right? And then the 2 rules. Don't troll me. I'll just knock you off. It doesn't bother me. I've been trolled a million times. Got 10,000, maybe 20,000 by now overall people that have followed me over time. If 1% don't like me, that's hundreds of potential trolls. Doesn't bother me. I just get rid of you. And then that's it. You can't do nothing with me no more. I don't care. You will make less money, and I move on with my life. I forget about you instantaneously. Number 2, don't talk about your picks in my chat. We're talking about companies that I'm giving you. There's literally 10,000 stocks out there. How the F am I going to know? You should look at my stuff. Shut up. I know how to find stocks. I got a whole team, a massive team, telling me which stocks I need to look at first, second, and third. And I'm going to put yours first in line? No. Not unless you are an independent, third-party, unbiased, industry expert related to the company you are talking to me about. So you might say, Mark, you should look at XYZ ticker symbol. I happen to be an independent industry expert in XYZ's industry. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I can tell you that they're the only ones that have the best blah, 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 blah. If you can't say that or refer me to somebody that is the independent third-party expert, I'm not really interested. Because that's what we do here. We have to verify these companies because they are lying to you. The bad ones are lying to you, and most of these microcaps are not good. Okay? In fact, let's talk about the good and the bad when it comes to AI. Because right now, this is what a freaking great segue. The latest information I've gotten on AI is that companies like Microsoft, right, Google, Amazon, the number one thing they want right now when it comes to building out these AI data centers, time to market. What does that mean? That means they don't care about the quality of the data center. They do. They don't care about where they get their liquid cooling solution from. They do. They care about all these things, but they don't care about it as much as how fast can you get the data center built. Because it's a race. Elon just laid down the gauntlet. 500,000 GPUs. His Grok is performing better than like everybody else combined. And now they're scrambling. Okay? Zuckerberg scrambling. Google scrambling. Microsoft scrambling. Amazon scrambling. We need data centers now. Whatever we need to put in it. Just whip it together. Okay? And this is the problem, right? Quick cherry on top. You've got companies out there that are telling you that they've got a solution for AI data centers. And maybe they do for now, at the moment. Okay? That's cool. But a company's worth all of its future cash flows. Okay? These companies are the equivalent, right? They're not Mrs. Right. They're Mrs. Right now. You understand what that means? It's the girl that she's cute, not much upstairs. You want to hang with her a little bit because she's cute. But you know you're not going to keep her around for long because you don't got much upstairs. That's what these companies are. Okay? They're rentals. And pretty soon, once a lot of these data centers are built out, right? Once they catch up to the demand, then they're going to go back and say, okay. Now let's see how we can improve what we've built. And what you're going to find is these companies claiming to have AI data center solutions, they're going to get kicked out. You just saw a couple weeks ago Amazon building their own liquid cooling. solution. I don't know why they chose this time to do it. Maybe they thought it was that important. But you saw what happened to VRT, Vertiv, the liquid cooling stock, immediately thereafter. It got smashed. Because people are like, wait a minute, what happens to Vertiv if everybody makes their own liquid cooling solution? Yeah. This is what you got to research. And guess what? AI can help you. Just ask it. I sit around, I wake up in the morning, I'll pull out Grok while I'm trying to wake up, right? Or if I wake up in the middle of the night, let me do some research. I'll just open up Grok and just start asking it questions. Question after question after question. Scrutinizing companies. Are they really the best? Are there really no competitors? Is this something that the hyperscalers should want to make themselves? Is this really difficult to create? Scrutinize these ladies that we call stocks. Okay? I was going to use the word hoes. I should. They're hoes. These junky companies are hoes. I'm here to help you avoid the hoes. We're trying to find Mrs. Right, not Mrs. Right now. And this is how I have found no losers in 14 months. Okay? We're going to talk about stocks now. Look at that. No losers in 14 months. 0. And multibaggers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multibaggers. Thank you. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to the... Where are we going to? Oh, yeah. Right here. By the way, fear greed index is back down to neutral. Okay, so there's fear coming in the market. That's good. It's healthy. There's Drone Shield, not an official or unofficial pick anymore. But boom, massive quarter. The only thing I'm going to say about this, because I want to give a nice, okay, because these Wall Street analysts told you months ago that Drone Shield was going to do 94.5 million in revenue this year. My team said there's no effing way. 94.5 million. First of all, why don't you just say 95? Are you you really think it's going to be 94.5, not 95? Stupid. All right? Round it up, please. Secondly, from our research and the deals we saw out there, 150 million, 200 million, maybe 250 million. Minimum 150 this year when the Wall Street was saying 94.5. Well, guess what? Drone Shield's year-to-date revenue under contract for 2025, that means how much revenue they're going to make as of today, is 176 million. 176. That's if they don't book any more business from now, August 1st, until the end of the year. Now, they probably only got about 3 months to book new business because they got to deliver on the orders. Takes them a little while to deliver the order. But they still got, it's been 7 months. They got 3 more months to book business, and they're already at 176. So guess what? When we said 150, 200, or 250, that's what we're getting. Not some stupid 94.5 radio station number that Wall Street gives you. Because they're idiots. A lot of them are idiots. You don't know which ones are good, and if you don't know which ones are good, you can't listen to any of them. All right, let's keep going. We got AI to talk about. Boom. TSSI. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about my fears. My fears of TSSI continuing to go up past my red line. All right. I'm not moving the red line as of right now because the company plays things close to the vest. And look, it's their company. I love these guys. Danny Chisholm is an awesome CFO. Love this guy. Hopefully he's not still mad at me because I just tell the truth at all times. All right. Daryl Dewan, great CEO. Okay. Great team. But they don't tell us too much because they got 97% of their revenue coming from Dell, and Dell's telling them don't talk too much. So it's hard to model this company out, but we do get clues. One clue being 550,000 GPUs online in a few weeks. That's massive. Now, here's the thing. If this was all TSSI, I would own a lot of this stock. I would probably raise my top line, or say I'm not going to raise my top line, but they're going to go much higher and then maybe come back down later. Okay? But they're sharing this, okay, with two entities. One is Supermicro, which I'm okay buying on dips right now, okay? I'm okay with Supermicro on dips because I know they're getting a ton of business from Dell right now in this XAI deal. I know that. How do I know that? Because we do research around here. It's not guesses. I think they're doing business with X. Shut up. You guys think too much. By the way, you guys are really great imagination. I think the stock is gonna blah 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 blah. Who cares what you think? All right? Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody has one, but nobody wants to hear from them. And I don't want to hear from you. We want facts. We want proof. We don't want, I think this is going to happen. I think they could. I think they should. I think they might. They can get acquired. Oh, shut up. You're just like hoping your stock is going to go up. That's what you're doing. It proves that you're weak. If you are not giving proof, if you don't have evidence to back up your frivolous statements, you are talking out of your ass, and people know it. Okay? These are facts going on. Another fact, all right, Supermicro is in on it. Also in on it, Dell. Okay? Dell has souped up their Franklin, Mass facility. So the problem we have right now is we don't know how much of this business is going to TSSI. Several months ago, 50-50, TSSI, SMCI. And then SMCI effed up, and then it went 100% TSSI, pretty much. So we knew what they were doing. We knew to back up the truck. We knew the stock was probably going to go to the top of the red line, and it did. We knew this. Easy money, because we did hard research. Now we don't know what's going on. But here's what I will tell you. One of the juiciest things, okay, that I've learned recently is that TSSI does not currently plan to stop using their old facility. Whoa. They weren't even at full capacity in their old facility, and then they built a new facility that's 2 times bigger than the old facility. So we knew that they were gonna double their capacity that they weren't even using all of, but now they're gonna keep their old capacity too. That's a bullish sign. All right. So I don't know what this quarter is going to bring because this quarter, I know this quarter is going to be a phenomenal quarter, but the quarter they're about to announce, the quarter that ended in June, I don't know how that was, good or bad. So that's the one thing we have to fear, right? Because they don't give guidance, right? But I'll tell you this, if you can weather the storm, whether it's a storm or not, I don't know, of Q2 earnings announcement coming up very soon. If you can gut it out, maybe put on a little bit of a position, knowing that it might go down and you'll just buy more, or just wait, what you're probably going to get is a sick Q3 and Q4. Oh, wait a minute. I think I've heard that before. Oh, yeah. I said that months and months and months ago. But now I'm verifying it, right, with confirmational facts going on top of the facts that led me to those conclusions in the first place months and months and months ago. Let's continue. If you have questions, put it in the queue. All right. We got that. SMCI. By the way, Dell should do great. Dell, those guys are bitches, by the way. I mean, this company is so great at operations that they will force their own salespeople to take unpaid time off if they are booked up. We got too much business. You guys sold too much stuff. Go on vacation. So we don't have to pay you. Put it on our income statement. Things like that. It's amazing. All right. You might think it's harsh, but those salespeople make a lot of money and, they take the abuse as a result. Anyways, Dell's got all the business that they can handle. That's a nice pullback for Dell. This chart right here looks pretty good, actually. All right. I don't want to be overexposed to the market right now, but this is really nice. This is a pullback to the 50-day moving average. They got tons of business. Their traditional business, but the AI data center business, phenomenal. Okay, so there you go on that. Cross that off. Cross that off. We talked about this. We talked about that. We talked about the other. Oh, the one thing I didn't say about AI. Okay, dude, you know what these LLMs are trained on, right? Literally every piece of information that they could possibly find from ever. That information in those models, they obtained very cheaply. Oh yeah, they've spent billions of dollars. But what is all information from the beginning of time? You think that's only worth billions? These companies are talking about, like Wall Street is talking about these companies moving towards trillion-dollar market caps. A single company, right? I mean, wait a minute, where are we? Oh, let's see. 4 trillion. We're already into the trillions. That's what I knew I was saying something off. It's the wine. We got Nvidia at a $4 trillion valuation. Okay? These companies are spending tens of billions of dollars to have every piece of information ever known to man in their models. Do you know how monetizable that is? Right? They didn't have to build this from scratch. They didn't have to create all of this information. They just took it. Okay? This has been incredible amounts of, it's no wonder that the hyperscalers are building out these massive data centers. There's no wonder that literally millions of people are already paying for this. ChatGPT is making like $1 billion per month. That wasn't happening during the internet bubble. This is not a bubble. All right? Think about that. The value of having rapid access to every piece of information known to man. It's not billions. It's trillions. All right? Okay, cool. We're done with my notes. Let's finish up my tabs. Then we go to Q&A. And then we call it a day because I'm on vacation in Montenegro and still out here helping y'all, even though less than 20% of my newbies could be bothered to retweet. You guys are in so much trouble. Like, so much trouble. Kicking y'all out, really. Like, do you blame me? You blame me. I don't ask for much. You can't, I hit the retweet button. It's a little, my finger will be sore. Get out of here. All right? Last bit of news. Gatekeeper announced a phenomenal quarter, record-breaking results. Not a surprise. If you've been paying attention, they're putting the lights out here. Baby's got to go to sleep. All right, we're going to do a quick Q&A, and then we're going to be done. Record-breaking results. Incredible quarter. You saw, like, week after week after week, how many states they won deals. The MTA, New York, the largest transit authority in North America. Philadelphia, number 5. Toronto, coming, number 3. I'm sure they're going to win this. Okay? And one of the coolest parts of this quarter that they just announced, right? Their recurring revenue, the AI monitoring, right? They have these cameras that can issue tickets. They can do all kinds of things, keep an eye on things. They help SEPTA in Philadelphia when people claim that they slipped on the bus, and they have footage that says, no, you didn't, right? But now they're doing AI monitoring to make sure nothing's going on the bus or outside the bus, right? It's new, it's AI. Over 1,000% growth in the cameras that are generating subscription revenue. 1,000% growth. This company is quickly transforming into an AI monitoring company, whereas a few years ago it was just a Camera vendor. Wasn't super exciting. Okay. GKPRF. PRF. There's the chart. All right. And there's, look at this. Big runway. Nice pullback. Right. What do we do with great companies when they pull back? Those are your opportunities. But some people are, oh, I can't believe I missed out when New York gave them a $23 million contract. Well, the stock is now pulled back from these levels. Almost, wow, 30%. 30%, you're getting a 30% discount off of what happened on that news. And what are you doing? Oh, I don't know. People are selling the stock. Shut up. This is why you don't make millions. This is why you don't make millions like me. Because you don't have the balls to take advantage of a pullback. Why did it pull back? Because idiots. Listen, what do they call the millionaires of the world? The 1%ers. So what does that make everybody else? The 99%ers. What does that mean? It means that 99% of people, when it comes to being multimillionaires, are idiots. I'm sorry if you're not a multimillionaire, but in terms of being a multimillionaire, you're not, right? And there's a reason for that. Hopefully you're on your way. You're watching me. I'm helping you get there, right? So hopefully you've been making great, if you've been watching me for the last 14 months, you've made great progress towards being a millionaire, and that's cool, right? But you're not there yet. And therefore, you are still among the 99%, most of whom, not you, but most of whom have no freaking idea what they're doing. Because if they did, then they could become multimillionaires. It's not that hard. I'm not some genius. I was just taught a bunch of rules and, call me crazy, followed them. Simple as that. All right? Indonesia, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, if I didn't say that already, on Intermap. The last note on this. And Gatekeeper. Boom. All right. Now, I'm going to give you my featured research of the week. Then we go into Q&A. Tech Precision. Okay. They just reported a great quarter. Okay. Up 10%. This company was floundering. Now they grow. This is what happens when you kick out idiots off the board. Thank you I know I voted every single one of my shares to get rid of these idiots who effed us up, who tried to do some stupid merger that ended up costing us millions of dollars, and 335,000 shares they had to give away because the deal fell apart, and that was part of the contract, that if the deal falls apart, we'll give you 335 shares of our stock, 335,000 shares of our stock. They had to do that. And what we were waiting for, right? Because what happens if you get a small company that doesn't trade that many shares a day, flood the market with 335,000 shares, you get a chart like this. Not like this, right? Dropping, dropping, dropping. This is what was actually happening. Let's zoom in on what the idiots were doing. The idiots drove us down here. I did a clear out trade back down here. Somebody wanted out. Okay, give me a good deal. I'll get you out. I got you out. Thank you, by the way, at 246. But then what happened? Right here, those shares hit the market. Those 335,000 shares. Why didn't the stock continue lower? Simple. People anticipated those shares hitting the market and sold the stock off ahead of that, thinking, I'm going to buy the shares when those shares hit the market. Well, guess what? If everybody has the same idea, it's not a very good idea. And what happened was, look at this. We had 335,000 shares. That's about $1 million worth of stock. Right here, we got 500,000. There's another 500,000. There's another 500,000. In 3 days, we had $1.5 million worth of trading. 1 million right here in these two. And the third one, that was the spike up. That was people like me and others scrambling to buy the stock when they found out that those shares had been cleared out. And still, we are just 6% above that level off the spike up. And we just got earnings. Okay? This spike up happened before the earnings were announced. And the earnings are phenomenal. Why? Because now we have a board of directors that knows what they're doing, that can crack the hammer. I listened to the earnings call. It was great. Bullish. Everything I've told you that this company can do, they're now finally doing because they have the management team to do it. You want to see something crazy? By the way, massive backlog. Okay? They announced 9 million of revenue, but their backlog is like 49 million. Why? Because of what I've told you. F-15EXs. High demand. This is a home run. This program, the F-15EX, only had 98 orders. 98 orders, by the way, is a lot. Because TPCS gets like $700,000 for each one of these things. Okay? So for every 3 F-15s that are made, TPCS gets $2 million bucks of revenue. Right? That's my best estimate. For every 3, they get $2 million of revenue. 98 were ordered. And it just got up to 129. That's a massive jump. That's a 30+% jump. And we're not done. Like this is a relatively new program. Just getting really, at full rate production. And it's so popular right now. This thing is so well engineered right now that countries around the world are lining up to buy it. Okay? So the ordering has not stopped. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going higher from 129 to something even higher. And 129, right? That's like $80 million worth of business for TPCS. This is a company that just did 30 million bucks last year. Okay? In just the F-15s. Never mind the CH-53Ks. We'll give you more F-15. Boom. Look at that. F-15EX in Japan. Japan wants it. US wants it. Israel wants it. This is going to be every ally of the United States, right? Likely wants the F-15EX. And TPCS is a sole source supplier. That means they're the only ones that make certain parts. And it's extremely hard to get kicked out because they are custom parts. Nobody else even knows how to make them at this point in time. It's really what it comes down to. All right? So that's what's going on there. Last thing on the F-15EX. By the way, you can look up CH-53K. There's also great news on that. Boom, look at this. Additional F-15EXs are needed by guard squadrons. The unfunded requirements in documented states, $2.4 billion on the unfunded wish list for 2026. There's a massive backlog of demand for these things, okay? The reason and by the way, this is news that's been piling up for weeks. I didn't want to share it with you guys at the time because I didn't want you piling into the stock until we were past this problem right here, okay? Because this could have driven the stock down to 2 instead of up 50 cents to 4, right? People haven't figured this out yet, but we also have General Dynamics Electric Boat, submarines, okay? The problem area for TPCS, they've acquired a location in Waterford, Connecticut. Space to expand our engineering for Columbia and Virginia class production. So now all of a sudden, we can go into my model, Virginia, Columbia. I'm only modeling 1.2, 1.4 units of production per year. That's a little more than 1 sub per year. The government wants like 3 of these things, bro. And TPCS in the Virginias, they get like 13 million per sub. Oh, no. They get like 16. I think, in the 10 to 15 range, let's say. It's going to be more in the future. But right now, about 10 million. For the Columbia, over 20 million per sub. So if we go from 1 sub per year to 3 subs per year, that is a tripling of these numbers right here. Okay? And then you add in the CH53Ks, right? And these are all orders we've got from the U.S. government. This is what the U.S. government wants. This is the government plan. This is how much revenue they get for each one of these government ordered units. If you sell an orange for $1 and somebody wants 10 oranges, you multiply 10 times $1 and you're going to get $10. All I have to do is multiply what's being ordered by how much each one costs and you get revenue. And the revenue that we're getting for the coming years for TPCS is a massive growth ramp, a tripling over the next few years of revenue from where they were. And from minus EPS to positive EPS they just gave us to improving EPS year after year after year to where I think in a few years they could do $2 of EPS. $2 of EPS. You know what that means for the stock? I mean, the stock's only at $4. You know if they do $2 of EPS, the stock's not going to be at $4. It's going to be maybe $24. The red line doesn't even reflect all that, okay? At this time, we got to see more out of these guys. But at the moment, from where they are right now on this nice pullback, shouldn't be 4. Should be 14, this stock, okay? And we no longer have the overhang of those shares that were gonna be sold by volatile. They're gone. The shares are all gone. You have to get them on the open market now. And there's not that many of them because TPCS's market cap, TPCS stock, is only 43 mil, guys. It's only 43 million. All right? So this could easily go from 43 million to 400 million. They should get acquired, by the way. Graham, this company should acquire them. All right? 40 million market cap for TPCS. 40 million. Graham, 600 million. Drop in the bucket. Easy acquisition for Graham. They would make a ton of profit on this because they could get rid of the whole management team. They don't need all that. They don't need accountants. They don't need a CFO. They've got all that. They would just inherit all this business and just execute against that. And Graham executes very well. So this would be a great acquisition for them. Here are some other slides. So we got an increasing in the production from General Dynamics so the subs can get bigger. F-15 is blowing up. CH-53 blowing up. Right? I'm following them. You keep an eye on what these guys are doing. And then this right here, this is the Department of Defense budget of 121 pages that your good friend Money Mark went through so that I could incorporate those orders into these models. This is what research is all about, okay? It's hard, boring work that leads to exciting riches. 7 figures every year. Yours truly making it. And you can make it too because I came from a basement. $143 a month basement. I was a loser. I was near homeless, okay? And now I make 7 figures and I'm not talking about $1 million per year and live in a penthouse in Miami Beach. I didn't do anything special. I just listened, learned, and did. I got myself a notebook and a pen for $2, listened to what my mentor said, that would be me to you now, and followed the rules. There's a cheat code, okay? That's all it is. Okay, let's go to Q&A. If you appreciate this, give me the thumbs up. If you appreciate this, retweet when I tweet out the invitation to this show to spread the word, right? Otherwise, I'm going to feel unappreciated, and you don't want me to feel unappreciated because I do this for free while I'm on vacation too. That can easily stop. You guys got to stop being losers. You got to stop being winners. And we do that by building the team. The more people that are following what I'm doing, the more emails that come in from real professionals, real experts in the industry. Okay, I get so much information flowing to me now that I don't have to do that much research. That's the result of all of you who have helped to spread the word. Those of you who haven't, F you, really. Like, you're a loser and you deserve to stay a loser. In fact, you probably will, because there's something called karma. I believe in it. I've noticed it in my life. Ever since I started doing this for free, to just give it back to society, my life has been amazing. I met an amazing girl. I have an amazing baby. More money pours in from amazing stock picks than ever before. My life has gotten better and better and better the more I have given to you. So if you don't have it in you to press a stupid little button to spread the word and spread the wealth and help make other people have a better life in this tough world, you're an a-hole and you deserve the a-hole nothing that you're getting out of life. Next. I don't care that I'm an a-hole. I don't care. What do we got? Oh, hell yeah, Shay. Bro, listen. If I ever give you a star, if you ever get a star emoji from me, save it. Just take a picture of it, because that is your get out of jail free card if I start kicking people out. When are we supposed to buy stuff on dips in the yellow alert? When are we not supposed to follow the rules? When are we not supposed to follow the rules but raise money according to the rules? Dude, raising money is the result of following the rules. Okay? When KRKNF got up here, we sold it. I'm going to lower my voice now because we have a sleeping baby. Okay? I'm going to try to stay calm, relaxed. Liniștit in Romanian. We sold Kraken up here. What is the result of selling a stock? Cash. Okay? We sold TSSI when it got up here. What is the result of that? Cash. Okay? We sold Drone Shield, multibagger when it got to here. What is the result of that? Cash. You raised cash by following the rules. There is no rule that says raise cash. It just happens as a result. Okay? When we hit a yellow alert, if you want to put a hedge on, be my guest. Don't ask me how much. That's up to you. It's just an insurance policy, right? 20 to 30% of your long positions or whatever, right? Go watch my old video. In fact, by the way, I forgot to say, for those of you who are new to me, this video is free. There's no tricks to anything I do. I don't know why it's black like that. There you go, right? It's called Make Millions with Mark. When you go to my YouTube channel, it's the first video that pops up, right? If you go to this, you can find the URL up here. It will take you to my blog site and all that stuff. Read the first article on the blog site. Get rich on stocks, the rules, all right? Enough of that, because most of you know this already. Let's get back to stocks. MBJ, that's what happens. Don't let that cash burn a hole in your pocket, all right? When you go and you sell your KRKNF, if there's nothing new to buy, don't buy nothing new, all right? You don't see me flooding the market with new picks like so many of these idiots do. I gotta pick a stock, otherwise people will stop following me. If you stop following me because I'm not giving you a pick this week, see ya. I don't care. What do I care? I'm going to still make my 7 figures a year, and you're not, because you decided that you want to go follow somebody that gives you more picks instead of somebody who helps you make millions. Which do you want? Do you want to make millions, or do you want more picks? Because the two are not necessarily synonymous. Let's keep going. I'm going to make this quick because I want to be over in 20 minutes. If I skip your question, if I miss your question, just repost it. Put the question marks at the beginning of the question. It'll be easier for me to find. During the 99 stock bull run, what was your cash stock investment hedge percentage, given that it would have been a yellow alert? This is the funny thing, Zach. Back in the day, I knew the internet was still going crazy. right? And I did get cautious at one point because we did get to the top of the lines, right? Boom, you can see that now. But once you break through with real catalysts, I knew the internet was big. And right here was only the beginning of 1999. Like we weren't even getting started yet, right? I mean, Amazon was 7 cents split adjusted at the beginning in the middle of 97 when it came out, right? I just knew because I was working in the industry. I was an independent third party industry expert. And I knew how much business was coming in because we were getting phone calls nonstop. We were hiring people nonstop to support all these phone calls from corporations around the world that wanted AI technology, that wanted to buy AI technology. So I said, I'm going to ride this pony until we stop seeing that happen. This is not a bubble, right? This was a bubble. And I knew that it would pop at some point. I just didn't know when. But I knew that I would know when it happened because I was working at a company that was getting all the phone calls. And when the phone stopped ringing, that's when I knew it was ugly. Okay? And when things broke, I didn't just raise cash, right? Because everything was above the red line. So that meant sell everything because everything was above the red line. So I sold everything. And then I took that money because I knew that this crash was going to be devastating. When you stretch the top line this high, you spring down. Remember, these lines are made of rubber, right? These risk-reward lines are made of rubber. And if you stretch them, they're going to snap back hard. And so I knew that we were in a red alert. I knew we were going to snap back hard. It wasn't yellow, it wasn't orange, it was red, right? Because of the bursting of a bubble that was going to have ramifications for the entire economy. I took all my money that I got from selling all these stocks and I went short the market. I went short any stock that I could find. All those BS stocks, all those stocks that were Mrs. Right now, not Mrs. Right. I shorted one. It collapsed. I moved that money into another one that hadn't collapsed yet. It collapsed. And for 2 years, I banked like 40% per year on nothing but shorts. Next. All right? And I'm giving you the same guidance now as I gave you then, except we're not in the same place. This is not 1999 as of right now. We have more demand than supply for AI and more uses coming up by the day. Okay? Until I see that stop, until you see that stop, we got to keep going. You just don't want to overpay for stocks. We want stocks at lower levels. I don't want TSSI. I know TSSI could keep going, but so what, right? I don't want TSSI at 26. I have some, a little bit, right? But I want Intermap at 2 with the risk reward line up there, right? I want these other names that I keep showing you week after week that are below the top line, that have more room to run. Just follow the rules. Don't fall in love with picks. Don't do that. Look at NVIDIA. It's at the red line. I don't want NVIDIA up here. Meta had a great quarter, but I said when they announced that great quarter and the stock spiked to the red line, I was like, the stock looks fully valued to me. And guess what? From that point, the stock is down 5% in just a couple of days. That doesn't mean anything. The stock can just turn around and keep going up. It's only a couple of days. But it's fully valued to me. There's easier money to make, and you only make millions if you make easy money. Yes, you can become a millionaire by the time you're 65. If you start when you're 25, whoop-de-doo. Okay? I was retired by the time I was 38. I was a multi-millionaire long before most people retire. I haven't worked for anybody since 2009. By following the rules, by being picky, by buying great stocks cheap, not great stocks expensive because I want to own Meta. I want to say I own Meta. Not at these levels, I don't. There's easier money. If it pulls back, yes, that was a great place to buy Meta, on the pullback. All right, let's keep going. I want to speed this up. Over the last week, you've made mention that the market is more similar to 98 than 99. Yeah. What was the QQQ movement in 98? Zach, look up a chart. Next. Navitas, Morgan Stanley issued a sell rating. Who cares about Morgan Stanley? Morgan Stanley is one of those Wall Street idiots. What weight do you give such reports when doing your research? Ronald, I don't even read them. Why would I, if I consider myself one of the best analysts, 30 years, earning 40% a year, millions per year, most of the analysts on Wall Street cannot say that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working for the man. Okay? They're working. They have bosses. They bust their butts 12 hours a day behind a desk or whatever. Right? Traveling all over the place. I don't have to do that. I'm traveling all over the place too, but not in a three-piece suit. I'm on vacation. Okay? And if I took the time to read all of these idiots' research, I wouldn't have time to do my own smart research. Those guys used to be my customer. Morgan Stanley was my customer back in 1994. I don't care what they think. I really don't. I care what I think, what my research tells me. Happy Friday. What are your thoughts on Gatekeeper's earnings? That's a fine question. I already gave you the answer, though, so we're done with that. Next. Thank you for all the kudos. I see them in the chat. Keep them coming. Hello, Mark. Just because you mentioned gold, I bought a few ounces of gold 5 to 10 years ago. Blah, blah, blah. Shiny plastic, MS70, only at 2 to 3x the market per ounce. Was this stupid? I don't want to own gold. There's easier ways to make money than gold. I own GeoDrill. Like, why would you own gold? You know what it'll take for gold? For GeoDrill, all they need to do for GeoDrill to go up 38% is for it to become fairly valued. And they're doing phenomenally. Gold to go up 38% from here is way up here, folks. That's 38% from here. Okay? There are easier ways to make money. You guys are thinking too much. You guys are in this like TikTok Wall Street world where it's like, you gotta buy this one, you gotta buy that one. Every day you're flooded with names. You notice how I make it simple for you guys? I'm not flooding you with names every week. Right? I'll give you information on certain names, but I'll tell you it's not an official pick. I'm just giving you information because you guys want your fix. I need to know something. You don't need to know something. You know what you need to know? Know this. Stocks go long-term capital gains if you hold them for 12 months, right? Over the course of the last 12 months, I've given you 12 winners, no losers. So if you pick a stock every month, at the end of 12 months, you go long-term capital gains on the first stock you picked, right? You can sell that stock and replace it with a new stock that you find, whatever the new stock of the month is. And that way you just keep rotating stocks out. The stock goes 12 months, you throw it out, replace it with a new one, replace it with a new one. You'll have a 12 stock portfolio that will always be of high quality. Only the highest quality. We want the 10s. You're the only man in the world, in a world full of women. There's no reason for you to settle for anything but a 10. Stop thinking so freaking much. Macro, which way the market going next, all that stuff. You're thinking too much. All you need are the risk-reward lines. That's it. That's all it's been. It's so simple. You guys think becoming a millionaire is hard, and that's why it is. It's not hard. Once you have somebody that can make the picks for you, all you have to do is follow the rules and buy low, sell high. Remember that? It's the most simple thing about Wall Street. Buy low, sell high. That's all you need to do. And you've got a million other things in your head, and forget about the one thing that matters. Stop it. I don't know the answer to your second question, Steve. Right? If I have something that I shouldn't have, I sell it. I don't care what the price is. Just get rid of it because I'm up 200% over the last 12 months. I can sell almost anything I have for half price. And if I double that money, it's like I sold it for full price. So why go, you're wasting time. Move on with it. My mom had a bunch of jewelry she doesn't wear. Gold jewelry. She never wears. I said, Mom, whoa. Get rid of it. Sell it. Sell it for scrap. We'll put it in the stock market. This was years ago. That money is worth far more now than that jewelry was. Far more. And she doesn't miss it. It could have been stolen by now, but nobody can steal your stocks. See what I'm saying? Is Intermap in talk with European countries? Was any of those countries I mentioned European? I mean, I don't know. Saudi Arabia, is that European? I'm not good at geography. But yeah, I mean, for sure they are. I just don't have any off the top of my head. I can't imagine that they're not in talks with European countries because they're in talks with countries everywhere else around the world. It's a good question, though. It's actually a very good question. I can only guess yes at this point. But I have to say I don't know. Let's see. Despite the recent run-up, the chart shows, despite uncolored, why are we not saying increase the position to a 6 or 7%? Increase the position. Your position isn't there already. If you're following the rules, your position size is already what it's supposed to be. If it's not, you should make it that. And that's the end of it. If you're trading the stock around, right, then you need to keep it in the right ballpark. That's your job. I'm not here to teach you how to trade and hedge and all that stuff. All right, I tell you what I do roughly, and then you got to figure that out. My job is one thing. Pick great stocks and give you the risk reward lines so that you can follow the effing rules, right? Which is in this video right here and in this article right here. If you have not or cannot read this article, which takes about 15 minutes, it says 15 minutes to read, and this video, which takes 1 hour to watch to become a millionaire, you are the biggest effing idiot I have ever met. You are a monstrous moron who deserves to never get rich. Okay? It's as simple as that. You really have somebody like me, right? And only because my mentor did it. So it's all, you could thank my mentor. Don't thank me. I feel like I have to give back because he gave to me, right? It's only fair. So there's no pats on my back for me over that. But the fact of the matter is you have found somebody that's willing to do this for you. Just like my mentor was willing to do for me. Okay? I found him. I didn't look that gift horse in the mouth. I didn't ignore that opportunity. I took that opportunity and I went from a 1994 Mazda Protege to a Ferrari, California in a penthouse in Miami Beach. It's funny, a few weeks ago there was some troll saying that I live in a small apartment in Miami Beach, which basically told me that it's somebody that I know who hasn't known me for the last 4.5 years because I've been in a penthouse in Miami Beach for the last 4.5 years. Which means this idiot's out of my life. Which means he's an idiot. Of which there are several. Many of whom live in Austin, Texas. You idiots. Congratulations. I hope you're having a great life. Yeah, I know I am. Drone Shield's red line, you said last week, you liked Mob in the same space, but it wasn't a 10 yet. What business decisions do they need to make? Yeah, Steve, I get it. Look, I can't give you the answer to that question. There's a plethora. There's a lot of things that any company can and needs to do to become a 10. I can't give you the laundry list. There's no right? Because it's different for each company. But what we're seeing right now is that Mobilicom does have a lot of customers. And there's tremendous demand for the products that those customers make and put MOB's technology into. So while Mobilicom is not the best of breed supplier, that's one thing. Mobilicom will never be a 10 because to me, I don't think they will ever be the number one best of breed provider of this technology in the space. But that doesn't mean that their boat can't float with the rising tide. Okay? And that's the thing, is like, I can't find other companies that offer this great combination of being super cheap. This is a super cheap market cap. Look at this. MOB stock, 24 million market cap. They have millions in cash, right? So there's this company is so easily bought out. All right. But I can't make it an official pick or even an unofficial pick yet because it doesn't check enough of the boxes. But I do own the stock. I own a good deal of the stock, despite the fact that it doesn't check enough boxes to become one of my massive positions. Okay? You got your starters and then you got your bench. These guys are on the bench. I can, if you guys want to play with certain stocks, this is a good one to play with. And by the way, this is if you like day trading my stocks is phenomenal, because if you F up, you can just hold that stock. You just take that and say, okay, this is no longer a trading stock. I'm going to put that in the closet for the future because it went down, it broke some level, I didn't get out of it, blah, blah, blah. But I know that it's good, probably because Money Mark picked it. Let me make this no longer a trade, but an investment. And you put that in the closet and you go trade with some other stocks and don't mess that up. But trading stocks that you have strong confidence in is it's a cheat code for you good traders. Know any companies that are developing nanotech AI? No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Oh, look at this. Shay. This dude's a rock star. Shay is a rock star. In the chat, says, FYI, Intermap has $35 million in their pipeline from Europe. Don't ask where or when. Indonesia, Colombia, and Malaysia are what matters for the next 6 months. This guy right here, I've been following the research he's done. I don't know if anybody knows more about what's going on at Intermap than Shay. So pay attention when he speaks because he's doing great research on that company. Phenomenal, Shay. Brilliant. You've already gotten enough stars from me. I don't need to give you another one now. I wish I could clap louder. I wish I could make more noise, but I don't want to wake the baby. Samsung just got Elon more chips. Okay, cool. I'm looking for question marks. Can you please elaborate on why your mentor thinks we are in 1996? I talked about that already pretty much. And I feel the same way. It's because it's so early in the process. I mean, we've got way more demand than supply. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, XAI. Their number one imperative is to get the data center running as fast as possible. It's a race because there's so much demand they can't build the data centers fast enough. These real data centers, not these BS data centers. Do not invest in companies that say, we're going to build data centers too. They're going to get smashed. You can't compete against those big guys. And if they're building some special kind of data, like an edge data center, so effing what? If the big guys aren't building edge data centers because there's no great money in it, which makes it risky, which means you shouldn't be in it. They're not the best players. Stay away from it. You don't need to own every stock. If you were literally the only man in the world, right? There would be literally 4 billion women out there. Even if you wanted to kiss every single one of them, you couldn't. You just can't. There's not enough time. Right? Life's only so long. So do yourself a favor. Just kiss the tens. Right? If there's 4 billion women, there's 400 million tens. You'll never run out. Ignore the non-tens for the most part. Right? Unless they provide tremendous value. Like MOB provides really good value. I own a little bit of it. I'm going to go give her a little kiss. right? She's got something cool going on. She's got purple hair, and I've never kissed a purple hair girl. She ain't a 10, but hey, this is going to be fun. That kind of thing, right? But don't do too much of that, especially if you're getting the pick from somebody that can't meet the criteria that I tell you about. Independent, third-party, industry experts with multi-decades of experience validating the technology of the company that you are investing in. You heard that? If you didn't, rewind it later. It's 331 of the show. So it's 131 of the replay. Hope Europe's been good. What are your thoughts on Navitas before the earnings call? I don't do earnings. I don't guess what earnings are going to be for companies, if you haven't noticed by now. I pick stocks. I don't pick earnings. Okay? I don't pile into a stock before earnings. I follow the rules before earnings. I follow the rules after earnings. I just follow the rules. You guys are overthinking. Oh, what about the earnings? Dude, sometimes I wake up and somebody goes, what do you think about the earnings? Whose earnings? Intermap. Oh, I didn't know they announced earnings. Let me go check it out. Because I don't care. I believe in the company. I mean, yeah, I care because if something significant changed that showed up in the earnings, yeah, I should care. So most of the time I'm paying attention to the earnings reports. But for the most part, 90% of the time, I really don't care. Because those earnings reports only validate that the company continues to be in good shape, that they're doing what I expect them to do, making progress. So what do I care if it's a make or a beat and raise? Who cares? Who cares? I'm trying to triple my money, and you almost never see a stock triple on earnings. So I don't care. Overthinking things. You guys are overthinking things. What part of the schedule are we in? I don't know what that means. How many cylinders is IDN running on? That's a fine question. Hard to say, man. Hard to say because a lot of businesses coming in. I want to hear what they have to say in the next earnings call. You know, it's somewhere in this ballpark. They're running on a fair amount of cylinders, right? Somewhere in this ballpark right here is my feel for what's going on. It's not all cylinders. I know that, but it's definitely not. I mean, this is a low number of cylinders. I mean, if this is a 10-cylinder car, it's trading like it's on 3 cylinders. That doesn't seem right. This seems undervalued to me right now, and you got a nice pullback in it. So there you go. Newbie in the WhatsApp group tweeted to retweet you for the first time since 2015. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate you doing your part, which I expect all you newbies to do. Okay? Just hit the retweet button. What the F? And if you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. I don't care if you're an old dog. All right? I'm 54 years old. I'm on Twitter. I'm starting it. I'm starting to IG. I'm starting to, I've had an IG for a while, but now I'm starting to post on IG more regularly. You have to learn these things or you fall behind. Okay? Twitter is an immense source of information and intelligence. Okay? And if you're not on there, you're falling behind. That's called getting old, right? If I don't look or seem old to you, it's because I refuse to act my age. Stop acting your age. Okay? My plan is to live to be well past 100. I want to play football when I get back to Miami Beach. I don't care how old I am. I care how well I think, act, and be. I hang out with people 20 years younger than me because I feel 20 years younger than I am. Stop it. Stop being old. Don't let that happen to you. Keep up. Do not go softly into that dark night. I was looking at my notebook from 6 months back. Kudos, first of all. That's a great way to start a question. You had mentioned this should be a great comp beat year over year for VTSI. Are you still of that opinion? Probably. If the comps are positive, the only thing is that VTSI is in a rough patch, so that could be problematic. But yeah, the comps are now no longer difficult. They're no longer difficult. Are they? Are they easy? That's a tough question. Okay. What's going to be really interesting is if their business, I think this is going to be a crappy quarter that they're about to announce. Okay. But after that, in crappy could still be better than, the comp from last year was really crappy. Right. So that's where your question comes from. I think the comps are going to make it easier for the quarter to look better. But I still think it's going to be so-so quarter. Right. But then going forward, it should start to get better. But let's hear what they have to say. I am not extremely involved with VTSI at these levels because it's trading at, look at that, like 3 or 4 cylinders. I don't know that they're operating on 3 or 4 cylinders at the moment. I own some, of course, right? But as a trade, because they're not operating on as many cylinders as I don't want to get so aggressive as of yet. But if they give us a decent quarter with guidance that things are now getting better, it should be off to the races. And I do expect that the stock will be 20 at some point in the not too distant future. So if you can weather the storm, then and you're just following the rules. If you're following the rules, you should own a good chunk of the stock. Period. Full stop. You should own the stock. Period. But if you're getting deeper into the method of how to trade these stocks, which you should not do until you've learned how to follow the rules and you have your notebook and pen and you've watched the video and read the article that I told you, the instruction manuals, and just chill, dude. Just follow the rules basically. Once you are excellent at that, then you can start trading these stocks and worrying about all cylinders and how the quarter will be and all that stuff, okay? You guys are really trying to get ahead of yourselves. You're trying to go to 12th grade before you've crossed first, second, or third. You're going to get beat up in high school if you go straight there from 4th grade. But glad you're using a notebook, and it's a fine question. Millionaire, including home equity. What the F kind of question is that? No. Well, yeah. I mean, if you got home equity, if you're a millionaire's a millionaire. If you're worth $1 million, right? If your assets minus your liabilities is over $1 million, then you're a millionaire. Congratulations. I don't know what you were trying to ask there, but I think I got it. Do I like Montenegro? That's a personal question. But yes. IDN, we talked about that already. State court's approval, the appeals court overturned state court's approval of ID for social media. Overturned. Yeah, we're going to see how that plays out. Okay. I mean, no matter what, we got to protect our kids. So we're going to see how that plays out. All right. There is a wave, I'm telling you right now, of fraud going on out there. And this is just one of them, right? Like what's happening with our kids, needing them to have IDs is just one sliver of what's going on that's driving demand for IDN. I've talked about it before in the past. I won't talk about it again now, just for the sake of time. One red day, are we bearish now? That's a great post. No, we're not bearish now. And in fact, it didn't take a red day for that to happen because we were already in yellow alert before this red day. See? We hit yellow alert there. And you can see we're already down. So if you shorted the market on the yellow alert, you're already up 3% on your short. Doesn't mean I'm going to, stay heavily short or whatever, but the market's expensive. The market's expensive, but there's a lot of stocks that aren't. The market's expensive, but there's a lot of stocks that aren't. That's all you need to know. Besides which stocks. What would be a good entry price for Gatekeeper and TPCS? James, watch the video, the instructional video, and read the instructional article, and just follow the rules. Okay? Other than that, you can scale it. Obviously, TPCS is now, right? But you see Gatekeeper has pulled back. I mean, any pullback is an extra bargain. GKPRF, right? This is what I think the stock is worth if it's operating on all cylinders and Gatekeeper is operating on all cylinders. So you tell me, James, What is a good price to pay for a stock that I think is worth $2.40? Now I've turned the question around to you. What do you think is a good price to pay for a stock that I think is worth $2.40? There's your Google chart. I don't know why that line's up there. Get rid of that. SNES, which I've been buying more of. The more I learn about this company, the more I think this might actually work out. And by the way, we're at the bottom of the channel and at this moving average line that it's bounced off of. I am accumulating a fair amount of the stock. How do I distinguish them as an acquisition candidate versus a Goliath killer? Small company with a proprietary niche versus companies like Rollins, Rent to Kill, which have much larger market share. Yeah, I mean, this is very defensive. Those companies, a lot of these companies, they sell rodenticide, first of all. The country is starting to rebel in the world a little bit against rodenticide. The reason is that, first of all, you're feeding a live animal a product that poisons and kills it. That's kind of sad. And then you have to have somebody dispose of those corpses. That's kind of morbid. And people prefer the idea of feeding them foods like SNES creates that infertilizes them. Is that the word? They're no longer able to have offspring. Okay? They don't know any better, but they get to live out the rest of their natural life. But if they don't have offspring, then there's going to be less of them in the future. So it's a much more humane way of dealing with this, and you don't have to get rid of dead bodies, except for when the rat gets old, it dies, but it didn't have any kids, so you don't have to get rid of the kids' bodies when they die because there's no kids. Also kind of morbid, but it's population control, kind of like when China did the one-child rule, right? They basically defertilized the country by saying you can't have more than one kid. This is what SNES is enabling. A lot of these rat poison companies have their own factories. So they don't want to stop selling rodent poison because that's what their factories do. And they put a lot of money in these factories. But there are those that don't have their own factories, and I would expect them to buy SNES and plug them into their supply chain and really go at those other companies that do have their own factories. This is a very strategic. I wouldn't be surprised if this company gets acquired before too long. But it's not an official pick. It's not an unofficial pick. It's still speculative, but I have put a decent amount of money in there because I think the downside is relatively limited, and I think the upside is crazy. Like, I honestly think that this $5 stock could go to potentially 50. I'm still working on it though, so don't flip out. But I would own some of this stock. I own a good amount of it. Personally, I might be making a personal mistake. I do break my own rules at times because they're not my rules. They're the rules that I was taught. And I'm human. Hopefully I'm not making a mistake there. Constructora, respectfully, what is missing for AIR and TPCS to be official picks? Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Is TPCS not an official pick? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we might have to rectify that. I thought it was already an official pick. Well, we might have to rectify that. I'm going to make sure that all the boxes are checked and blah, blah, blah. And get back to you shortly. Thanks, buddy. That's what vacation will do to you. Write that down. Okay. We'll do the research to make sure it's a 10. Have I done any follow-up? Is there anything new on KRMD? Shut up. I ain't explaining this anymore. I come here and tell you everything that I know every week. If I didn't tell you, I don't have anything. Mamma mia, for the most part. I don't like the question. Is there anything new? What do you think about them now? Stupid. Syrian View chart. Notice when, let's see. What about jobs? Is a recession incoming? I'm not a macro analyst, and even macro analysts, I don't trust them. Pick great stocks. Don't worry about the market. But you do pay attention to the risk reward charts, okay? We are in dangerous territory from a valuation perspective. So I'm not worrying, I'm not going to try to I don't have to call a recession to know that I have to be careful about being invested in the market unless the stocks are at great prices, low in the risk reward charts, and operating on tons of cylinders. That's it. Other than that, don't own it. I no longer I got rid of my Google. I owned Google because I thought that was right. And it's not even up here yet. But I don't want to own a stock like Google when the market, if QQQ is too high, then Google is susceptible. If the Qs drop 10 or 20%, Google's going to drop too. I don't want to own marginal names. I want to own stocks that I can multi-bag on. Simple as that. Google's not going to multi-bag. Ask yourself that question. If you don't see on the chart that the company has a good chance of multi-bagging or moving up, let's say 100% with low risk, what are you doing with a market at elevated levels like this? Just out of curiosity, I did a search and confirmed money Mark indeed lives in a penthouse. Okay. My property tax is more than medium. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I do applaud you for making sure that I'm not being fraudulent. I like that. That's called research. Here we go. Last couple of questions. If you have any more questions, put them in the queue. Otherwise, we're going to call it a day. Call it a night here. It's almost 10 o'clock p.m. here in Montenegro. Who do you think is operating on more cylinders, Crescendo or Intermap? I would say Crescendo because they've been doing it for longer. Intermap has, I think, it's completely different types of things because Intermap's got a lot ahead of it, right? They've got a lot ahead of it. AI is new. The need for 3D Earth is relatively new. Crescendo's been around for a long time, and they've been smoking Microsoft and Cisco for quite some time now. This is a very established business, Crescendo is. Okay? Intermap isn't even established enough for me to have a colored line at the top of the chart. Okay? Two totally different things. And by the way, Ben, who cares? Just follow the rules. Why, But it's a fine question. Nothing wrong with that. There was only one state that overturned an appeals court on the ID stuff. And maybe that goes to the Supreme Court of that state. Let's not, like I said, the overarching theme is that what IDN provides is becoming increasingly important. There's going to be bad news some weeks, there's going to be good news some weeks, but overall, the trend is good. Don't overthink things. Don't overthink it. You notice what I've been saying over and over? Put it in your notebook. Stop overthinking. It's not that hard. The problem is not you and how much thinking you're doing. Thinking more is not going to make you a millionaire. Thinking correctly is. It's not that you're not thinking enough. It's that you're not thinking about the right things. That's all it is. This is very easy very simple on paper. It's difficult up here because people overthink things. People don't want to do what's uncomfortable. Guess what? If you're not making 7 figures a year, it's because you're not doing it right. And you're not doing it right because doing it right would be uncomfortable to do. I know it was hard for me. It took me 3 years to even really start listening to my mentor because it didn't feel right. But I kept losing money on what felt right to do. I think I should buy this stock. I think I should sell this stock. Wrong, 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 wrong. And I see my mentor, he's banking, banking, banking. I'm like, really? On that? He made that move? Really? Why? I don't get it. And then finally one day I said, I forget it. I'm going to take 10% of my portfolio and I'm going to do what he does. And if I lose, at least it's only 10% of my portfolio. And that 10% of my portfolio destroyed the other 90% of my portfolio. And I was like, holy crap, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. But it didn't feel right. Those moves did not feel right. But they felt right when I made money. When that money came in, it started to feel right. I was like, oh, I like that. I'm going to do some more and more and more and more until it felt right. And then I was no longer a 99%er with 99%er mindset. I was a 1% mindset, soon to be a 1%er, because I changed my mindset around what is the right way to do this. And you're not going to learn that from anybody but a 1%er. Because anybody who knows how to do this right, who isn't a millionaire, come on, bro. You can't be doing it right. Right? I'm looking to become a billionaire. Like literally. Like it's just math. I keep doing this and I'll become a billionaire. Simple as that. You just keep multiplying your money. That's Warren Buffett started with a paper route, $5,000, and became the richest man ever with $5,000 to start. You tell me you can't come up with 5 racks? If you can become the richest man ever. He did it. All right. Boom. Last question in the queue is done. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the I mean, I guess it should be an official pick, right? Like, duh. I didn't think it was in the. I'm going to figure out what to do about this, because I just gave you this nice big presentation. The stock's up 10%. You guys are jumping all over it. I mean, really, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. We'll figure it out. See, that's what happens when you're on vacation and drinking wine and all that stuff. Hope you enjoyed this week's Stock Talk Live. If you're a newbie, this is what I do. I didn't yell at anybody. You've missed a lot. There's a lot. I do a lot more than this. Come back for more because I am one of the very few people that are qualified to do this among the 10,000 who try. All right. Y'all know the theme. It's Friday. It's Money Mark. Have a good weekend. Take care.